When preparing for a job interview as a software engineer, I always ask myself, but what exactly should I prepare? With countless hours of preparation and my experience as a software engineering manager sitting on the other side of the table interviewing candidates, I've created this video series to provide a clear structure of the most important things you should prepare before your next interviews. I will not just give you a set of answers to the most common questions like a lot of videos here on YouTube, but I will really help you to reflect on what you want, on your strengths and weaknesses, and find a job that fits to you. I hope that the videos and exercises in this playlist will help you to get more confident, get more opportunities, and eventually find the job you love. In general, I think there are 4 most important things you need to prepare. You need to prepare yourself, your experience, the position or the company you're applying at, and you need to practice everything. In the part about yourself, you need to prepare an introduction. Almost every interview starts with an introduction or the question, so tell me a bit about yourself. You need to prepare your strengths and weaknesses. It is very important to know what you are good at and know what you want to improve maybe over time. You need to write a good CV and know how to apply. And you need to know how to present yourself in the best way during the interview. When preparing your experience, you need to prepare 2 things. One is your competence, so your technical knowledge. It is about the frameworks, languages, tools you already know, and to learn how to present that in a structured and confident way. And the other one is your stories. Almost every interview process has a part where your behavioral, your past experience is questioned. And the interviewer wants to find evidence in your past behavior which predicts your future behaviors at this new company. But you also need to prepare the position or the company you are applying at. You need to really understand the job requirements and your strengths and weaknesses in relation to the job you're applying to. You need to understand a bit about the products, what is this company actually selling, and also about the culture and your questions you have towards them at the end of the interview process. Because every interview will probably end with the question, so what questions do you have for us? And that is what you need to prepare. And the last thing is you need to practice everything. Once you prepared your experience and your skills, you need to practice what you prepared, because a lot of times you write down your answers and you kind of know what you want to say in an interview, but in the moment where the interviewer asks you the questions, you cannot really answer the question that well. Okay, but that was still very high level and not very specific. So what exactly should you prepare? That obviously depends on a lot of factors, like the experience you have, the role you're applying at, or the company you're applying at. But there are many things that are very important and very general you can prepare that will help you in any job interview you're preparing for. I created this video series to give you a structure and walk you through the most common steps and practical exercises you can do to maximize your chances to get the job you love. I will cover all the topics you absolutely should prepare before going to your next job interview. I will cover topics around the CV and how to apply, the question about tell me about yourself and your introduction, your strengths and weaknesses, the recruiter HR call, the technical interviews, the behavioral interviews, how to ask questions in an interview, the salary expectations and the negotiations at the end of the interview process, the day before the interview and how to prepare best, and how to present yourself the best during the interview. I believe if you follow this structure, do all the exercises carefully and practice them with your friends or family, you will be better prepared than most candidates applying for the same roles. But how much should you prepare? When I started to prepare more seriously for my job interviews, I always asked myself, but how much time should I spend on this preparation? Because I always had the feeling that I spent too much time or maybe too little time on certain topics, and I didn't really know how much time to spend. It's obviously very hard to give a specific number here, but I would recommend anything from 20 to 60 hours of interview preparation, depending on how much you already prepared and depending on what role and what job you apply for. I've heard people say, I'm already very senior and I don't need to prepare that much. Or if they want to hire me, they can look at my CV, they see how good I am, right? Or the interview process is badly designed in general, and if they want to hire me, that's their problem. And somehow there's a truth to all of that. But it's just a fact that the interview process is very different from your actual day-to-day job. It's almost like a skill in itself to be good at interviews. And I think it's a skill that doesn't take that much time to get good at compared to, for example, programming or other skills we have. But I think it will immediately affect your life in a positive way if you are well prepared for your next interview. in terms of opportunities you get or your stress level during the interviews, and also the salary increases you can get with comparably very little effort. So I personally think that it is worth to invest quite a lot of time in your interview preparation. Now we talked about what to prepare, but I also want to speak about how to prepare best. First, I think you should understand the different interview stages and what the interviewers are looking for. This is why I created this series, to walk you through the most common steps and give you also a bit of the perspective of a hiring manager interviewing candidates. This is how you will better understand why a certain interview is held, and it will give you the ability to adapt your answers and to really understand what they are looking for. The second step is that you need to prepare your presentation, your technical skills, and your stories about your past experience. You need to write down the questions and also structure your answers and select the best things you want to say and which best highlight your experience. This is why I include exercises in almost all of my videos, and I also add links to other resources if you want to learn more about them. The last thing is you need to practice everything. Knowing what you want to say in an interview is only half of the work. Being able to communicate it in a good way what you want to say is really a completely different thing. Sometimes we know in our head what we want to say, but when we try to say it, it doesn't sound as good anymore. This is why I always recommend to ask a friend or family member to ask you the question and answer them to them. Initially, this is super awkward, but it's much better to have this awkward moment with your family or your friends than with the interviewer where it actually matters. The interviewer is actually assessing you, and if you are not prepared and not as confident in your answers, that has direct consequences on the opportunities you get, even if you get the job or not, and obviously your salary at the end. This video series will not cover everything, but I try to focus on the most important steps throughout the interview process. If you follow my videos step by step and use the worksheet I link under my videos to do the exercises I suggest, and then practice them with friends and family, I'm confident that you will be better prepared than most candidates applying for the same job, and you'll increase your chances of getting a job you actually love. Let me know if you have any more questions I can maybe answer in the comments of this video. I'm especially interested in the jobs you're applying for, and I want to celebrate together with you if you get the job you're prepared for, so definitely write that into the comments. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.